My name is Herman de Smet. I'm a photographer from Belgium and I've always been fascinated by the night sky. The stars, the vastness, the mystery, it all draws me in. But capturing it, I have no idea where to start. I don't have the technical skills to photograph the night, but in this series, I'll be on a journey to learn. Step by step, I'll discover what it takes to bring the beauty of the stars down to Earth.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of Chasing Stars. Today I'm gonna try something different. In the last episode you saw me capturing the sun with one shot. But in the meantime I've also read some articles on how to improve my images with a telescope, and I've learned that if you want to improve the image quality you have to stack your images. And stacking means taking different shots of the same object and put them all together, and then you get an image with less noise than if you take one image. So that I'm gonna try first with the image of the sun and the Dwarf 3 telescope. Welcome, by the way, on my star observation deck. It's actually just the terrace of my apartment, but here I have a clear view on the bright sun here this afternoon. First thing we're gonna do is connect my Galaxy Tab to the Dwarf 3 telescope. Alright, we first gonna enter the photo mode, and in the photo mode you have the function Sun Track. So if I click that, it says that I have to apply the ND filter. That's the little sunglasses here, yeah, to prevent damage to the sensor and to the lenses of my telescope. And then I have to move the telescope towards the sun. So I'm gonna do that. Like this. Now you can see I have to center the sun in the middle of the telephoto view. I'm gonna do that here with the little arrows. I'm also gonna focus because the image is not sharp. And now you can see here underneath it's tracking the sun. That means that if the sun moves, my telescope moves with it and the sun always gets in the center of the image. I could push this button, but then it takes only one photo of the sun, and that's what I did in the previous episode, and I don't want to do that now. What I'm gonna do now is enter the Astro mode. When I click on photo, you get the options of video, Astro, Pano, so I choose Astro. The icon changes of the shutter button, and I can go to function, settings, and here you can see I can change the shutter speed. I can twist the wheel, but I will leave it on 1/500. There is also a setting gain. Gain is a bit like ISO on normal digital cameras, so the higher the number, the more noise you get, but the more light comes in. But here we are capturing the sun, so there is enough light, so I can put the gain on 0. And the filter I can put on visual filter. Now I go to the feature menu and I have the settings. Here I can change the amount of pictures he has to take. So let's put it on 15. I want a stacked preview, so the telescope will do the stacking itself. And I do the AI enhance on. That means that it will do noise reduction by itself. When I now push the button to start capturing, let's see what happens. Here at the bottom you can see that it's targeting the sun. Exposure 1/500, gain 0, total 15. He has already captured 5 shots and stacked 1. So he will now take the 15 shots and stack them all 15 and save them on the internal memory card of the telescope. Now let's wait a bit. That already looks much sharper than the image before. So what I can do now is transfer the images to my computer. It has a stacked JPEG file on it, and then I can do some little tweaks in Photoshop with the stacked JPEG file. You saw also in the settings that I had the option to take TIFF or FITS files. I chose the FITS files, and FITS files are raw files of the telescope. I don't have software to open the FITS files yet, but I will do that in the next episode where I will learn to stack all those images myself. But for now I just leave the power of the telescope do the work for me. It's already stacked, it looks great. So yeah, here you can see the final image. It's already much better than the single shot I did in the previous episode. What I did now is tracking the sun and taking a stacked shot of the sun. The next step, of course, is the thing I got this telescope for, and that's as shooting the stars or a galaxy. And of course, it's the same procedure as I did with the sun. I have to select the star that I want to track, and I have to take several images of the star and then stack them together. But therefore, I need a clear night, of course, so I will have to watch the weather for the next few days or weeks. And when it's a clear night, I'll be here again on my star observation deck. In the meantime, I have to prepare also the telescope because I have to take dark shots. And dark shots, I've read it also in the manual, those dark shots are photos captured with the telescope in a complete dark environment. Put the telescope in its bag and then in a completely dark room, for example my bathroom, and then I have to take the darks. And then you have a folder with 20 complete black photos, but the telescope will use all those photos to reduce the noise in the stacked star images. And then you also get a better image quality in the stacked photos. Alright, to take the dark frames, I have to put on the solar filters again and turn the lenses completely down, so the image will become totally dark. Then I have to put the telescope inside the bag, and I will also put the telescope inside a very dark cupboard, so it gets absolutely no light pollution. Then I go to function here, and here you have the option darks. Take dark frames now. In function, set the shutter, gain and telebinning of your dark frames to the same settings as your astro shooting session. And now he's taking the dark frames. About 5 minutes left. I will just leave him do, and then we have our dark frames. Alright, welcome in my home studio. I've just taken the dark frames. Now I'm gonna connect my Dwarf 3 telescope to my computer and transfer the images to my hard disk. Let's see what's on the drive. So I've attached the USB-C cable to the port. I will now connect it to my Mac. Now you can see that there is an untitled drive that's appeared on my desktop. When I click it, I can see different folders, and you can see there is a folder Dwarf Dark, and then I also have the fit files of my sun tracking here, those 15 files I took before on my terrace. That's the image of the sun I took before, the stacked JPEG file. So what I have now is the stacked JPEG, stacked by the Dwarf 3 telescope, and also the folder of the 15 fit files, so I can do the stacking myself. But that's for another episode, because as you can see, when I double click it, I don't have a program yet to open them. So I will sort that one out. I have to read about it, how I have to do it. So now I've opened the sun photo in Photoshop. Let's see what a resolution it has. Yeah, it's 4K, so 3840 by 2160, and I can do some adjustments here. Yeah, I can see it's much sharper than the image I did before, so I can do some adjustments here, like the brightness and the contrast. It's great to see those images already on my screen. The next steps are waiting for a clear night sky, and then I'll go out on my terrace again and try to track a galaxy, make a stacked image of that galaxy, and then see it here on my computer. Alright, finally it's a clear night here in Belgium, and I'm gonna test the Dwarf 3 telescope by photographing Andromeda. Andromeda is a galaxy far away, and therefore I have to align the telescope to equatorial mode. That means that I have to align it to the Polaris star, and that it can turn against the rotation of the Earth while making different shots of Andromeda and then stacking them together afterwards. So first I have to connect to the Dwarf 3 telescope. Alright, connection successful. Now go to photo mode. Yeah, and in the functions of Astro you see EQ mode. So I tap it. Please focus your Dwarf device first to ensure the stars are clearly visible. I live in a country where there's lots of light pollution, so there are almost no visible stars here, but I will try. Yeah, I can see some stars. They look sharp. Let's go to EQ mode. I have mounted my device on a tripod, it's leveled, and it has to face north. So therefore I have my compass on my mobile phone. Right, I have rotated towards the correct position, and then I have to turn it down by 38 degrees. Right, let's see. Alright, I've got my perfect alignment achieved. My deviation is 3 degrees, it says. So I have to avoid moving the tripod. Now I'm going to the settings. I will do the files, the stacked image, AI enhance, yeah, that's good. The shutter speed, the astro filter, again of 60, that looks already much better. And now I have to choose my target, of course. I have to do that in the atlas. Search for Andromeda. Yeah, I can see it here, Andromeda. I can click on one click go to. Now he turns, is now calibrating. Alright, and as you can see on my screen, is now tracking M31, that's Messier 31. That's a guy from long ago who made a list of all galaxy objects, and the Andromeda galaxy is number 31 on his list, so that's why it's called M31. And then I hit go, and now we will start taking all different shots of Andromeda, stacking them together. So I'm now going inside to get warm again, and I come back later to check the stacked image. Here on my Galaxy tab you can see how the Andromeda galaxy is being captured. Let me show you. I will let it now just continue, and then tomorrow I will copy the files to my computer and then do some post-processing. Alright guys, another experiment for this episode. I'm gonna track the moon. There is a clear visual on the moon tonight on the other side of my house. I'm here on my star observation deck. I've got here my Galaxy tab connected to the Dwarf 3 telescope. I go to photo mode, and then at function you have the moon track option. So let's try it out. Yeah, I have to center the moon into my telephoto view. Let's do it now. That's the moon. There are a little bit clouds, but they will go away. Now I have to focus, of course. Yeah, you can see the moon is already sharp. Now I'm gonna switch to astro mode to do some stacking. You can see it here at the bottom, he's tracking the moon. Now I go to astro mode, and at function, settings, yeah, I will select 20 shots, 1/320 of a second, gain 0 and the visual filter. And now I hit start. Now he's taking the shots of the moon. He will take 20 shots. There are already 2 done. And then he will stack them all together in an image. Alright, let's go inside, copy the files to my computer and check the result. Alright, that was a very short night, but I just copied all files from the telescope to the hard drive of my computer, and I divided them in some folders. Let me show you. Here are all the fit files of the moon, and there is also a stacked JPEG. It looks like this. Yeah, that's already promising. I did the same from the Andromeda. There are the 400 fit files and the stacked JPEG. That looks like this. It's already a stunning image. In this file the stacking was also done by the Dwarf 3 itself. And because I don't have the knowledge to stack all the fit files myself, that's for the next episode, I just opened those JPEG files in Photoshop, did some minor adjustments like noise reduction, sharpening and some color corrections. Let me show you. And I got this out of it. Already a much better image than the JPEG. And also for the moon, look how sharp it got. I'm so happy already with the result of my first moon shot and my first galaxy shot. In the next episode I will try to learn how to stack all those fit files myself, and I'm curious on how the result will be. And for now, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up with one of the buttons down below and subscribe to my channel. And if you have questions, ask away in the comments and I try to answer them as fast as possible. Bye!